All right, we're here at Thundercat Sports Academy to see the man behind the mic, Riley Klaus. He's our guy. There are other guys out there, but Riley's a new guy in town. So, a couple of things that we'd like to interview and see what he's looking like here. Riley, where's your hometown? Where'd you go to high school, and where do you go to college?
So I'm from Hastings, Minnesota, which is about half an hour out from the Twin Cities in Minnesota. Then I went to Cretin-Derham Hall in St. Paul, Minnesota, which is kind of right in the heart there of Minnesota. And then I'm at Virginia Tech currently, all the way out in Virginia. So a big travel there as I'm studying sports media and analytics, and then found myself here for this summer.
Awesome, awesome. So, what brought you to like the DCL? What made you want to come here versus going other places?
Well, for me, I knew that summer baseball was going to be the best strategy to gain experience in the field I'm looking to eventually go into. And when I was looking at my options, I searched up all different summer leagues around the country. And as being from Minnesota, seeing that there was one in the state just over in Wisconsin definitely was interesting. And then when it came down to the end, after I had a couple on the table of what I was looking for, it came down to I knew that here I'd have the opportunity with a growing league to get a lot of reps and experience at getting better, because that was my number one thing I was looking for, is just opportunities really to gain that experience. And I felt I've had that availability this summer to get better at what I'm looking to do.
Good, good. What were the other schools that or programs that you did not choose, which you chose us over them?
I, in the end, had a couple interviews. I had one with a team from the Cal Ripken League in DC. I also, when it came down to the end, was offered a kind of more social media position with the Duluth Huskies in the Northwoods. And that was closer, obviously, to home, but when it came down to the end, there would have been a chance that in the future I could do more broadcasting and such with Duluth next year, but I knew that if I'm just sitting behind for a year not getting that live experience, I'm going to look rusty anyways if I have all that time off. So I knew that here I'd get that chance to broadcast, do some of these other interview opportunities, and just gain that speaking experience on live air as well, which I haven't always had before.
Perfect, perfect. So now, as you come to the DCL and you're here in Little Lake Mills, Wisconsin, you obviously have a host family. Could you tell us who your host family is, and maybe a little bit of your experiences with them?
I'm with the Evelyn family, and oh my goodness, I can't just express how thankful I am to have been with them for this summer, as it made my life incredible, knowing that I'd have the opportunity to have a host family so I could be right in Wisconsin and be able to travel to a game every single day for the DCL. And so it's Frank, Tracy, as well as their son Eddie, and the dog Bear. Can't forget about Bear. And they just were so kind to me even that first week when I knew I was going to be busy studying up on all the players, writing everything down. They still cared about it. And after that first week when I got kind of my feet on the ground here, they just opened up, and we hang out all the time. We can talk about anything, and it's just been a great experience for me, and I'm really lucky that I got placed with them, as well as they've had experience with the DCL, and they even helped me, get used to this is how it should go and what it's going to be like, and these are cool ballparks to play at and what their favorite spots are. So I'm really thankful that they were my host family this summer.
So there are a couple other guys living at that house too that the Evelyns are hosting for. So one of them guys has probably become one of your best friends. Could you elaborate on either one of those guys a little?
Well, we got Mapache's manager, Hayden Cooper, and infielder for the Beach Bum, Shepard Graff. And Hayden has honestly kind of been like a big brother to me this summer. And the second that we both were there, it's like we're in the same situation. He had previously been with Evelyn's, but after, as I said earlier, that first week where I was kind of just dialed in on numbers and we opened up, we finally, every night start talking and hanging out, whether we're playing Mario Kart in the basement, if we're going to the same game, we're going to carpool. It's just been awesome to get as well. It's great with the household also with Shep there, that he's been a friend of Eddie's as well. We have a player, a coach, and a broadcaster, which has been a really interesting experience because we get perspectives on the league from all sides. Maybe Shep was playing for the Beach Bums that day and saw one perspective on his side of playing for the game, and then coach is on the other side and I'm behind the plate. It's just all types of different ways to see the game. And when we talk about the fun memories, it's been great to get all those perspectives in one household.
So, at the Eveland residence, Frank and Tracy, obviously, I know them well. They are great people. But can you give me something? I know the season's not over yet. We got a week left here. Give me something that sticks out. That's that you could go back home and tell your mom and your dad or your friends about that happened at the Evelyn's. Okay, whether it be something you guys did, your favorite food there, your favorite if you went out to dinner, anything. Just give me something like that.
Well, I definitely would say that their food is amazing. I got to give them that, as well as with, they made homemade pizza and steak and just phenomenal meals. But I'd say it's just the camaraderie that, whether it was me and Frank watching dodgeball on the TV, and now with that commentary in there, we quote all the time, it's bold strategy, Cotton, let's see if it pays off for him. And joking with their color commentary, we always joke trying to get my skills up. But even, I'd say like a standout for me too, were watching the College World Series in basically their backyard one night with just all of us. I think we even had at one point all 6 of us there at the Evelyn household watching it. But also it was the night before the 4th of July, and there's a fireworks show literally within visible distance of their backyard. And that was probably my highlight of it. Was I know that Tracy had some of her family in town that weekend as well, and so it was a great day to just relax that night. We knew 4th of July was the next day, but we all were kind of just unified and enjoying the fireworks in their backyard.
So Frank and Tracy have a patio out back, and they've been known to put a TV out there so you guys can sit out and watch, and that's, I'm assuming, how that happened.
That
correct?
is indeed how it happened, yep.
That'll work. That's perfect. So rumor has it that, I don't know who does the cooking. Frank does a lot, but Tracy does some. But homemade pizzas is rumor has it that's probably your most favorite meal there.
I think it's got to be up there just because I don't think that's a gimme to make. There's some, box mac and cheese that even if it's good, I think most people might be able to do that. But when I've historically think of like making a solid homemade pizza, the ones I've had before haven't quite, lived up to what they had. And so I give credit to that dish for sure, because I think that they've nailed it every time. They always get variety too. Like, hey, make sure we need the green peppers on one of them. You got that. But for a guy like Eddie, that we just need the sausage and pepperoni, got that too. And so it's a great variety.
That's cool. Everybody. Appreciate that. Yep. I've seen them, and they are definitely off the wall pizzas. I got to tell you that. Because it's not like the sausages are spaced evenly, and Frank's sausages are not small by any means.
Nope.
So, anyways, so your let's just do this quickly. Is your top 2 go-to foods of all time anywhere?
I'm gonna go, I'd say, with a medium rare filet, which I'd say as of late is probably like Texas Roadhouse is probably the most regularly available that I can count on getting there. I would put that really high. And then I'm gonna throw, when I was little, I pretty much only ate grilled cheese and mac and cheese. And so although maybe your average today doesn't keep up to that, I'd say a top tier mac and cheese might be in that top 3 discussion for me. Yep. And so I'll go with that as my second choice.
Is there anything, while you're still here, staying at the Evelyn's and working with us, is there anything that's on your bucket list that's here that you hope to get to, or maybe something you hope to but may not get to?
I think I've hit a lot of the things, especially just getting to all the local, I know ice cream shops is a huge part of what we do. Me and Hayden and all the other people in the household are enjoyers of ice cream, and so made sure to get out to Frosty Freeze in Fort Atkinson, and trying all these places in Lake Mills as well. I'd say, I don't know if it's going to happen, but I've never been to the Dells yet. That's out that direction, but for the state. But otherwise, I think I've hit all the main tasks I've been able to do this summer, and I've enjoyed this Dairyland state
The Dells is like an hour from here, 45 minutes or so. It's a tourist area,
Yeah.
so they have water parks and downtowns
Yeah.
and all of that cool stuff. But that's a good thing. What about Lambeau? Is that on your list or no? Not. I mean, you're a Minnesota
I
guy,
am.
right?
I as a Vikings fan, I hesitate. If I went in, there would be no mind to it for sure. It'd be a great to see. As you know, I haven't been to a ton of NFL stadiums in my life, and I'm with the historic, just residency of the Packers franchise. I mean, I can't admit we have not won a Super Bowl. The Green Bay Packers have, especially as of late, and I remember being at a presentation in class this past year in school, and this one guy, I forget what state he's from, but he walks up and is like, "Yeah, as a Packers fan, we haven't won a Super Bowl since I was 7." And I'm thinking, I haven't seen the Vikings get close really in my life. So I'd say that's a really cool spot, but won't be heartbroken if I don't get to it either, because
Good
hopefully
answer.
that championship's at US Bank.
So where I'm leading to this here, Big Red, is I was told you're a football nerd, like
I am.
huge.
I
You
am.
know, there isn't too many stats that you don't know about anybody. Is that I'm assuming it's a truth, and whatever made you like dig so hard into football?
I'd say that for the most part, that would be, I've tried to give more of a variety, but when I grew up, I played a little soccer at the beginning of my playing career, but when I got to 7 years old, my sister went off to Notre Dame. And if you know anything with Notre Dame, their football is life up in South Bend, Indiana. And so my family in general was not necessarily huge sports people at the time, but all of a sudden when she went there, we started watching them play with the Fighting Irish, and they did really well that first year. The first year that she went to college, they made it to the national championship, and I remember going to school the next day like just heartbroken they lost that game. But then it was around 2014 when I started picking up the NFL, and at the time I played the Madden video game quite a bit as well, and I would spend almost every day, because I didn't have, I was a kid at the time, didn't have a ton of work to do, was just writing down players, writing down every single player on every team just to memorize them. So then I'd be watching the game and I could tell my parents like, "Oh, that's whoever," and they'd be, "How do you know that right away?" And so I think that love for just knowing it. I've even enjoyed this summer with the DCL, like getting immersed in this world where you're looking at all the players, and now I'm gonna remember. I'll be 2 years down the line, but some random kid in Wisconsin goes to XYZ college. That's just locked in my brain. So I'd say the love for information is kind of just what sparked that.
Yep,
And
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's a great part of that because I also was told that you do an immense amount of homework for
Yeah.
games for guys. You dig high schools, their first year, second year of college, their stats, where they live. But you do all of that stuff. You have that all on your computer and all that stats. So that's an awesome thing. That's a lot of work.
It was. That first week that I was here, I was just busy in the basement, and that's where I'd go back earlier. The Evelyn household was even like, "Is this guy here? Like, what is he up to?" But once I got in, it's nice here with the 6. Like, I locked in, and then it made it just really easy now with recognition, too, for players throughout the season. That at the beginning, I needed the notes every time, and I had the whiteboards still do if a guy switches positions or something, but now it's like I can see a number or even just an aesthetic of a player and recognize who that is out there.
Exactly. So, a couple more questions, but one of them is one thing about Riley Klaus that people may not know. That's an interesting fact about you.
I'm gonna go with that I was born on a horse ranch, and it isn't something you can usually work into conversation necessarily fairly easy, especially in the sports broadcasting world that I've been in. As we're talking about a sport or whatever, it's hard to just throw in, "Oh, I've grew out here on a horse farm," but I think that was a unique experience growing up because it's not something everybody has as kind of their background, and I think it translated that to neither me or my sister necessarily chose that as our line of work, but I think that there's a lot of mentality and just knowing what that was that morphed us a little bit into knowing what it takes to go to this next step of life. And otherwise, as my backup, I think 2 other things people might not know is huge music guy, and in high school and everything I did, I play the piano still to this day. I've done drums quite a bit, did a little bit of choir back in the day as well. But then my also trio is I'm left-handed, so if I were to throw, I'd be southpaw.
Attaboy. That's cool. That's information that even I didn't know, and I pick your brain pretty much daily.
That we do.
Yep. So, do you have any, what, I mean, what is your, like, give me your typical day for a DCL on game days.
For me, I'd say that first week it was just getting information about players consistently. Now I'd say on a regular basis is I still prepare my computer with any updated stats to make sure I know the guys' new information, as well as like to set it up so that I can get it in the order, kind of all the guys in one range and organize, as well as updating any standings to make sure I'm up to that on all my notes. And any new information as of late, I'll make sure I type in that part. But I kind of wake up, take that first part of the day, and then try to get to the ballpark at least an hour to 2 hours early in that range to get prepared and then enjoy the show.
And then when you get to the ballpark, that's not always just get there and sit down and do your job, is it? No.
That it wouldn't be. I gotta make it best for everybody, and I think it's great to get the setup going and get that experience. And then also it's great when you get it all ready and can just relax after that. But gotta make sure everyone's on the same page. Check in with everybody. If someone needs help with something there, that we make sure we do it. And then hopefully you're all prepared at a good time that then you can relax, get the mic set up.
And to let you guys know that when Riley gets at the ballpark, it's just not as easy as he says it is. It's just not, okay? There's tables, there's chairs, there's cords and everything else that need to be helped with, need to be set up for, the game changer stuff and all the other stuff that we do. And Riley does a great job of helping out with that and get there and digs right in and gets stuff out of the truck, and away we go. So he does a great job with that.
I appreciate it.
Yep. So, do you have any give me your top 2 favorite players in the league? That's tough.
This is tough.
No, I don't want a stat, okay?
Yeah, nope. I'll give you. I think I gotta go. Just with throughout the season, there's been guys that are really enthusiastic about this whole getting on the mic or doing interviews. Some guys are kind of shy about, which is all good, but some dudes are just ready to go up there 24/7. And so I'm just going to roll through quick and make sure I don't forget anybody. But I think one of the guys as of late I'd have to go with is probably, there's almost 2 guys on the Foxes I got to throw together, which are Joey Lagina and Crete Slattery, because they seem to be pretty good friends, but they're always, whether it's pouring the water on each other, or just excited to get on the mic for sure. Otherwise, I think it was fun with some of the mic stuff, like Jack Bauer was a pretty funny one to just watch back and was a chill dude at the ballpark as well. But overall, I'd say that there's just been, as of late, a real energy around the league as we get to the playoffs, that everyone's having a great time, and I'm really excited just to see how it all shakes out. And I don't think I have any real favorites going into the tournament, and just excited to see who ends up on top.
Cool. Through the games that you've been to, is there, there's been a lot of exciting.
Yep.
Do you have any one that sticks out?
Well, my brain instantly goes to 2 games. I'm debating which one. I could throw out both, but I'd say you gotta go just close ball game, instant classics. And for me, we've had now at this point, even with yesterday, a couple go to extras, but I'd say the 2 for me that were the most interesting were the 19-18 game between the Bobbers and the Cheese Kings at MSOE. That was pretty early on now, looking back at it, where the Bobbers just came out of nowhere, and they've done that all season. But then I think I got to go with I think later was kind of named the Battle for the Beach, but the first game between the Foxes and the Beach Bums, where that went in the extras, there was strategy from both teams going on, trying to get the victory, and just to have that close of a ball game between, at the time, the top 2 teams was just so exciting, and it just was a back and forth all day, as that one was really both sides the whole time had an opportunity. So that one sticks out a ton, if I were to pick a game for sure.
Yep, that was it. When that big 19-18 when somebody was up and then all of a sudden they came back and scored all them runs. That was definitely, I was at that game myself, but that was pretty tough.
That
Pretty
was
tough.
very.
So
Yeah.
so anyway, so we're moving on a little bit here. Give me a couple of things that you might take away from being here as an intern through the summer. Take back home to your parents and your family, or take to school to your buddies at school or whatever.
I'd say, as mentioned earlier, experience is what I was looking for, and that I got here in the DCL. And I think those would be a lot of memories that I'll share with family and everything, but overall, being able to be, honestly, it's a different atmosphere being sometimes in the ballpark with the whole crowd there, and it kind of makes you step up to your A game, that people are even there watching you. And so I think it was gaining experience of doing the same thing, but also being able to go back and trying to really, what I loved about this summer was with the huge number of games I got, there's time to experiment. Maybe there's a phrase I throw out there that you think, yeah, I can use this again, or maybe keep that in the toolbox for a different day. But being able to just listen back to those top moments, and I'd say it's just been able to go back in the film, and I think I've seen an improvement even when I listen to my most recent game compared to my first. But every time, in the business when we talk about it, if you go 100 miles an hour every day, yes, you're getting better because you're getting experience, but every once in a while you do have to take that quick, even if it's 5 minutes, to take back, look at your last game or game last week, and just, if you watch for 2 minutes, you might catch yourself say the same thing 5 times, and I log it in the back of my brain. So I think it's just that number of experience. I feel as though I'm a better broadcaster by the end of the summer than I was at the beginning.
Definitely, I've heard a change where at the first you were a little timid. Okay,
I'd say so for sure.
And I actually listened to last night's game a little bit where you were at the Rats and the Apaches game.
Yeah, that was.
And very well. You were like outgoing. Your voice wasn't timid. You were like right there. Okay, so that's just something that I noticed. So, what is the one thing that you will miss the most?
I think I gotta say the people, number one, and I'm glad that I can keep contact with everybody. But for me, being in Virginia for a while and then coming back even to this Midwest, it has a homey feel for me, and so I've really enjoyed this environment. It's crazy; it's already coming towards the end. As I remember pulling up Google Maps to get to Lakeside the first time and going to Waterloo, and now it's like, oh, that's right on the back of my hand. I can make that drive. So I'm gonna miss the places, but I think number one, the people that I've had the chance to meet, whether it's the interns, the players, the coaches. It's been a great atmosphere, and I'm also sure that I'll be able to keep in contact throughout the future with the league, no matter what. Whether people come, stay, go, and find just ways to keep in touch.
So I can honestly say that I personally will miss you. I like your face. We can banter back and forth. I've given you a couple of nicknames through the course of the summer. Big Red Dog, stuff like that. When your parents didn't think that you have red hair, but
it's not the first to say that, so it's debatable. For sure.
I can't go say, hey, Big Brunette. That
Exactly.
just doesn't work.
Yep,
okay, so Big Red.
Yep.
You seem to getting a little bit of a tan throughout the summer because we're not always in the shade. So that looks pretty cool. But most of all, we're all gonna miss you. Well, okay. You've been a great person to get to know.
Well, thank you.
So, if you have anything else, any words of wit for anyone, let them have it.
Well, I've really enjoyed my time this summer. I'm sure that in the future, too, I'll find ways to contribute or impact the DCL, but I just have really enjoyed it, and I can see the potential in this league as well, that I can see it still just growing, and I'm a million times over would take this choice for this summer. I really appreciated all the support that even at the ballparks, when I got a parent coming up to me after a game saying, like, are you the guy that's been on there all these games? And appreciate it. Whether even, it was this last week that I commented about Logan McManus's blue shoes for a while, and his dad goes up and is like, yeah, I always know you're on there when you bring up those, or just the unique elements that I've really enjoyed, just the support of the community, of the players, all the people, and I'm really thankful for what this summer has been, and really looking to keep the foot on the gas pedal for this last stretch as well. Best still to come in the playoffs, so it's going to be a great time shortly.
So you're always welcome back. If you
Oh, yeah.
want to come and hang out for the summer, we'd have you.
Yep.
Whether it's for an internship or if you just decide, hey, like I need a little vacation, I'm coming back. Have at it. Give us a call. We'll have you back in a heartbeat. Not a problem. Okay.
I appreciate it.
Last question, then we're done. All right.
Alrighty, here we go.
Who takes it?
So what I love about the league right now is I think every single team has a chance, especially because you can throw your best arm out there this first game and knock a team out. I'm really, my hot take was the Mapaches, which looks pretty kind of good as of late. I just last night saw their team ability. To me, is what I think is the strongest right now. Just their brotherhood, which makes you want to go there. I know though that like there's dominant power with the Beach Bums that on a regular basis they're putting up runs on the board. We've seen the Foxes get scary. Same with the Bobbers. The Order of the Rats may be top tier, and I still think the Cheese Kings. I think as even the interns we've kind of agreed. Watch out, like
They're a little sleeper.
that they are asleep. You want to make sure you wake up with the alarm on that one. And for now, I think just because I said it a month ago at the time, which also my hot take when I threw it out there was before they went on that 5-game or even I think it got to 6 winning streak.
Yep.
So I think I just got to let it ride, but I really, from a broadcaster's perspective, am really excited to see how it turns out. And even I'll be at the other game tomorrow, and so there's a chance they're gone before I even see them in the playoffs, and then it's just open season the rest of the way.
Yep. And they can always listen to you on Game Changer. If you want to watch into the games, you can tune into the home team's Game Changer. Request a family membership from anyone that's in there. You'll be approved, and you'll be able to watch, and you'll be able to listen to the man behind the mic here. And we'll see how that goes. But again, there's exciting times coming up.
Yes.
Playoffs start tomorrow, Wednesday.
So
Championships on Sunday.
Yeah, I'd have to say even if your team's knocked out or your family member is playing and no longer playing, just keep watching because it's going to be a great time to see who comes out on top when it's all said and done.
So feel free to leave any comments or anything, if you watch the video here and our little impromptu interview. So again, we have Riley Klaus, man behind the mic.
Appreciate it.